Welcome everyone to today's webinar. As people might know me already, my name is Daniel. I'm one of the co-founder and co-CEOs of Synera, and these webinars are like my specialty. I would say I'm really enjoying them because we will show you what we have worked on over the last 3 months. And I'm also super thrilled that today I'm not alone. I have 3 more people today with me, all from the product team. So super glad to have today Sophie on board.
Hi, everyone.
And also from the editor team, Christoph.
Hi, everyone.
And last but not least, partners and notes PMs, Andrew.
Thanks, Daniel.
So cool to have you on board. As you all know, we have a full packed program today. So we will show you a lot of new features coming up. And as you see, we also have a brand new name for our new release called Inspiring Icarus. So much easier for me to pronunciate as the previous one. So I'm happy that the developers choose this one. And yeah, let's talk about our new release. If you have any questions, feel free to use the FAQ functionality of Zoom. We will try to answer all the questions during the webinar. And if there are some open ones, we will follow up at the end. Okay, thanks. And let's jump in. As mentioned, also this release is packed with a lot of features. So in total, we have developed over 50 new features and fixed over 50 bugs within the last 3 months. And today we are talking about a huge topic. We're calling it scaling work. So all the different features you will see today, they are somehow connected to this phrase, as we would like to empower you to scale your work and to make it even more enjoyable. And for that, we prepared 4 highlights. And to start directly with the first one, I'm super thrilled to bring Sophie on stage, who will give us a huge update on Synera Run.
Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, as Daniel said, we have a huge and exciting update to Synera Run. First, what is Synera Run? Synera Run enables you to painlessly scale shared automation solutions. It empowers an unlimited amount of users in your company, to execute shared automation workflows. You can protect your workflow IPs, and it reduces the initial effort and needed knowledge to use Synera to zero, because you don't need to install anything, and also you don't need any onboarding. Synera Run was in a closed beta phase so far. With all the feedback that we collected from our beta testers, we made it possible to publish Synera workflows to Synera Run out of the box and make it nice and easy to use. In order to make it possible to publish out of the box, we now support all inputs and outputs, also file paths to be independent from file extensions, and also lists and trees. We made viewer improvements. For example, we support FEM legends and colors now. And then we worked a lot on the usability of Synera Run. We have a nice and dynamic UI now. You are able to cancel computations. You can share workflows more easily. And also we have support for iPads now, so you can run your workflows there. And with all of these changes, we are now moving on from the closed beta phase to an early access phase. That means with Inspiring Icarus, as of today, Synera Run is public and everybody can use it now. And then I would like to show you a little demo. In this demo, you can see a speed run basically right now of a creator, a Synera user building up a workflow. This workflow imports a geometry. It then sets up the FEA boundary conditions based on the geometry attributes. It analyzes the displacement and the stress in this geometry. It's a bearing design. And it also automatically creates a PDF report that shows you the maximum stress and the maximum displacement. And as the creator is working on this workflow, they realize actually this is working nicely and robustly, and a lot of my colleagues could benefit from doing FEA analysis very easily this way. So they make a few changes. They define some inputs that the consumers can then adjust and define. they define outputs that the consumers should be able to download. And then also they define what the consumers should be able to see in the Synera Run viewer. And with this, they now make this workflow available to all of their colleagues. First off, it's published to the local machine of the creator just to do a double check and to see if everything is working as intended for the consumers. Here you see the creator opening Synera Run in their browser, adjusting inputs, uploading files, and giving the workflow everything it needs to run to see if the consumers can use this workflow as they need it. And also, you can see the dynamic UI in action in this. As you can see, the viewer gets a bit bigger. Now the workflow runs through. The creator checks if the results is what they would expect, if everything is working as they want to. And also the creator is downloading the results to double check those. In this case, it's a PDF report that's automatically created. And after this, the creator realizes, okay, the workflow works as I want to. Now I go back to Synera and I make usability adjustments. So for that, you can give your workflows a meaningful name and descriptions, because the consumers, they just open this in the browser. They don't know anything about Synera or the workflow. So they get descriptions and they don't need any additional information. In this case, they just need to know, okay, this is for bearings, and I need to give specific attributes to the surfaces that get a load, to the surfaces that are fixed. Then also the inputs and outputs should have meaningful names, makes it much easier to define them, of course. And you can also define tooltips and really make your workflow dummy-proof, basically. And after all of these changes, the creator is now ready to publish this to the company's server. And once it's published to the company's server, everyone inside this company can access this workflow in their browser. No installation, they don't need to know Synera, they don't need to know even anything about FEA evaluations. They can just use this as it is, and quickly perform FEA evaluations for their CAD designs. And they can also cancel computations in case they forgot an input and then rerun it. And also, the consumers themselves are able to very easily share their workflows. That's why we have the share button in the top right. And with this link, they can just share it via email inside their company, via chat, and everybody can use it. So this is all from Synera Run. As of today, we are going public. It's a very exciting step for us. And with that, I'm heading back to Daniel.
Yeah, thanks, Sophie. It's always amazing to see what you guys achieved in just 3 months of work. So to summarize Synera Run, we promise you that it's all about scaling work. So with Synera Run, you have the possibility really to scale your created workflow with all your co-workers inside of your company. And as Sophie mentioned, now with all the features you already love from Synera. And beside that, we have all the new stuff, from easy access to sharing to iPad support, what I highly appreciate, because as most of you know, I'm also an Apple fanboy. So now I can directly work on my beloved hardware. So thank you so much for giving us an update on Synera Run. Next topic is, and therefore I would love to bring Christoph on stage from the editor team to talk about sharing notes with a new functionality called custom notes.
Thanks a lot, Daniel. Yeah, I want to talk about custom notes. I'm always super impressed when I go out to talk to our users to see the powerful workflows they create to solve real-world engineering challenges. And one super crucial aspect for these powerful workflows is to keep them clean and readable so they can be reused, they can be maintained, and they can be quickly understood by other users. And custom notes help a lot for this. So custom notes are the entry point to create your own notes without any coding skills. All you need to do is create your workflow, define your inputs, define your outputs, give it a name, and then you can shrink the whole workflow down into a single note. And this allows you to keep your main workflow super clean and simple, and still be able to create very powerful workflows to tackle hard problems. Now you might say this is already possible, and you're right, this is already possible with the include node, but we gave it a major upgrade. So now we have the custom nodes, and we took everything that you like about the include nodes and have given it a major upgrade. So what does this mean in particular? Now there are two options to create a custom node. The first one is to create a linked custom node. So this means that part of your workflow is separated into a separate Synera file that you can build, and you can reference this by specifying the location of this workflow. And this gives you the possibility to have this big and complex workflow and still have it super simple and readable. And you have all these separate workflows that live in separate files. And this is what you currently know as the include node, and now it's the linked workflow. And it's a great way to collaborate with others on larger projects. And it's also a great way to reuse those custom nodes across several projects. Although I would like to add, if you want to reuse certain custom nodes, or if you want to reuse certain workflow templates for many, many projects, then you also might want to look and do our past webinar where we introduced the libraries that are actually the best tool for this job. Now there's a second way to create a custom node, a second new way and a very exciting way, I think, and this is an embedded node. So what does this mean? You still have the opportunity to create a workflow, define the inputs and the outputs, and then you shrink it into a single node, but it doesn't live any longer in a separate workflow file. Everything is stored within the same Synera file. So if you only work with embedded custom nodes, then basically your whole workflow remains one single document, which makes it a fantastic option to just share it with your colleagues without having to worry about sending all the linked workflows that you reference along with it. It's just set and forget, and you can still reuse it within your main workflow, so you don't lose anything there. We didn't stop here. We went even further to make the work with custom nodes even more enjoyable. And we added two very cool new features. The first one is that you can now simply place a custom node on the canvas, and then by clicking on it, you can decide if you want to create an embedded new workflow, if you want to create a linked workflow, or if you want to link an existing workflow in this custom node. And this, for example, gives you the opportunity to sketch your overall workflow at first, and then go into the custom nodes and fill in all the details. And another very nice addition is that you can now search for your custom nodes in the radial search. So no more need to search on the canvas for your include nodes and copy and paste them. All you need to do now is go to the radial search, enter the name of your custom node, and you can just quickly place it on the canvas. And yeah, that's all on the custom nodes for today. I hope it makes the work with Synera even more enjoyable. And with that, I hand it back to Daniel. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Christoph, for this giant update on custom nodes. So with custom nodes, you see you can scale your customized nodes across one project. So if you define it once, you can search it and you can reuse it with a glance. We have enough of new features packed into this release. So I'm really curious to see what you guys will do with this new functionality. And now we come to the next highlight. And this is we scale from one part to a giant assembly. And I know this is a feature which was long waited for you guys and highly demanded. So I'm super thrilled to bring Andrew on stage to tell us more about.
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, it's I think really fitting with the trend today of scaling up the access of workflows that Sophie shared, the complexity of workflows that Christoph shared, and now we're talking about increasing the complexity of the components that you work with inside your workflows. So with the new release today, we'll have access to assemblies. So no longer working with flattened assembly files, but actually you're able to import natively your NX assemblies or your CATIA assemblies, whatever CAD tool you're using. We're going to be able to import those and then also export back out assembly files in step format, which is really great. Of course, we want you to be able to work with these data structures efficiently. So you're going to have the ability to not only deconstruct an assembly, filter out by different attributes, but also go back and construct that assembly when it's time for export. And like I mentioned, because of this deconstruct aspect, now we add in the ability to start filtering out these assemblies. So if you want to select out a specific part based on name, or a subassembly based on a name, or parts based on color, all of that's going to be possible now with the new nodes in the release. So what we wanted to do was make this as familiar as possible for people. So if you're familiar with the tree from your CAD product, we're going to have that actually mirrored inside Synera. So you'll see that same assembly structure that you're familiar with inside Synera. So when you want to look and access different assemblies, sub-assemblies, parts inside your workflow, that data structure still exists there to give you that familiarity, especially when I send this part back into your CAD product of choice. Now, what does this look like? So we've added to the import geometry node the option to output assembly files. So you can see on the right in the viewport, we have a small assembly there. And then the toggle allows you to decide, do I want to import this assembly as an assembly object type, or are we going to actually import this as traditionally done, just as a series of parts? So we can see the change there from solid bodies to an assembly. Of course, with a set of bodies, my next node doesn't compute the deconstruct assembly node. And let's take a look there as we move through the process here. We're going to go and try to change out some of these bolts that we identified in blue with hexahedral headed bolts instead. So now we're able to use the nice filter attributes with our deconstructed assembly there to filter out the bodies based on the color. In this case, the attribute we're using, we could filter based on a number of different attributes for these parts. We could even generate a BOM file for the parts existing inside our assembly here. So then we're just going to take the components. We're going to now move a hexahedral bolt into the same positions because we're able to extract some of that centroid data from each of those components very easily inside Synera. And then we're going to go back and reconstruct another assembly based on this new data that we've created here. So very easily to then go ahead and construct that assembly file. And then we can just go out and export that as a step file back to our CAD tool of choice. So I know a lot of folks have been asking specifically about this capability, and I'm really excited, especially with some of the early feedback we got on this. So very appreciative of those customers that helped us here generate this new set of capabilities. And with that, I'll hand it back to Daniel.
Thanks, Andrew. So yeah, it's so cool to see that we now also support assemblies natively by all our importers, and also that you are able to export assembly structures. We are really thrilled to see what you guys will now do with these new capabilities. And with that in mind, we go to our last update. This is our general improvements. So for the general improvements, we have a couple of them. First is a small one, but highly requested one. As you guys are knowing the custom node and Synera Run, you have to specify your inputs. And normally you can specify your inputs with the side panel. But with this new version of Inspiring Icarus, we also allow you to bulk define inputs with the context menu. So you just select them, go into the context menu and say register as input nodes. For sure, the same functionality also works for output. Then we come up with a couple of new nodes, a lot of smaller nodes, which has high power in your context. So 3 new nodes for dealing with meshes, and another one with dealing with intersection, especially mesh and line intersection. I would say probably a hidden champion, remove duplicates. So I was missing this a lot. It's easy to find duplicates when it's just numbers or strings. But if you want to find duplicates in a list of geometry, you can still, or you were able to do it, but it was a nightmare. And now with this new node, you probably will enjoy to find all the duplicates in your list and tree structures. And also a construct tree to make it even more handy to work with data structures. And then another bestseller node gets an update. I think everybody is familiar with the node insert item, as it's used quite often. And with this update, you are also able to insert an item at the end of the list due to the help of the list lengths. So this will help you a lot to get at the bottom of the list. We also have some notes improvements from add-ins that we are supporting. First is our reporting add-in, and it becomes more and more also a bestseller in our download charts. So everyone probably loves to automate their reporting tasks, as it's probably a tedious work and nobody is really enjoying it. So we are super thrilled that we announced a new node in this add-on called Markdown to PDF, which also allows you now to create directly PDFs out of it. And the PDF is also supporting all kinds of visuals like graphs, like this pie chart, a table, links, whatever you need. And another update for our OptiStruct translator with the node import OptiStruct model, we are now supporting native format of altered H3D file, which make it much more convenient and handy to import binary files into our system. So you see, today it was almost Christmas, I would say, Christmas Eve, with 4 big topics. Giant updates in the field of Synera Run. We saw all the new dynamic controls. We saw the sharing possibilities, the support of all inputs and outputs. Everything is already now accessible through this new version. We saw the custom nodes presented by Christoph with the possibility to now embed everything in one file, and then you can easily share this one file. And if you want to scale your work from a part level to a whole assembly, Andrew gave us a glimpse about what is now possible with this new version of Inspiring Icarus. And last but not least, we saw some improvements, especially the remove duplicates, and the PDF creator will probably be in the high score at the end from the downloads. Let's see. Beside that, this was the highlights for Icarus. The question is, when will it be available? And as you guys know, we try to be fast as possible, and we were able to make it again. So the new version is available today. So feel free after the webinar to go directly on the portal slide, portal.synera.io, under download, and grab the new version. We are so thrilled to get your feedback and see how you will utilize these new functionalities. But on the other hand, you know that Synera has its editor and all the functionality that we are developing, but we also have a giant ecosystem now with partners in our marketplace. And I'm super thrilled that Andrew is also managing all our partners and will give us now a short update about massive new versions and releases of partner add-ins. Andrew, back to you.
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, it's really impressive to see the Synera marketplace grow over the past year. I think today marks 42 add-ins on our marketplace. And over the past quarter, we've had a lot of really incredible updates. So Hexagon and Mendate released a new update with casting constraints. I definitely recommend to go back and take a look at the webinar we've done with Hexagon there. Dendrice and Mocha from Solo Lattices, adding new enhancements driven by customer requests. Today, we've added the SimCenter Nastran connector. So really grateful to our technology partner, Siemens Digital Industries there. We've had some updates to the SimScale connector, ANSA connector, but I just want to talk quickly about 2 add-ins that have updated recently, or actually launched recently. So we have the Cognitive Design add-in from Cognitive Design Systems, which is focused on post-processing topology optimization results, coming up with some really interesting designs that are much more manufacturable than previously possible. Everyone knows the pains of taking some of those ISO surfaces out of your favorite top-up tool and trying to reconstruct those. And CDS has done an amazing job here, making designs not only suitable for additive manufacturing with gyroid infills based on simulation data, but also casted designs or moldable designs for injection molding. And speaking of injection molding, we've added just the past week our mold flow connector to Autodesk Mold Flow, thanks to our partner, CodePS. So now you'll be able to connect to process simulation into your design and analysis workflows to come up with truly optimized components for manufacturing. It's really exciting to see what some of our customers are starting to do in this area as we start to bring together every facet of the design and engineering process. So I hope you'll take a look at the Synera marketplace and some of the new additions we've added recently.
Cool, and they're all available already, right?
Absolutely.
So after you download the new version of Inspiring Icarus, make sure that you're checking the marketplace .synera.io for downloading all the new functionalities from our partners as well. And to summarize today's sessions, you saw a giant update in all different areas. And we are really thrilled that you joined this session today. And it's always an honor for me to present the work of so many people behind the scenes. So also thank you to the whole Synera development team who spent endless hours making this new release possible. Thanks also to the other 3 PMs today to share your knowledge and also to present the work from your teams. It was an honor for me to host this session today. Thank you so much for joining, and we are really thrilled to see what you guys will do with this new work item, Inspiring Icarus, for scaling up your work. All the best and have fun.